What's up, y'all? This is another day in my life building my business to $2 million per year. Let's start off the video hot with a ref check. Let me just show you guys what the brands are currently doing right now. The first brand is at... My shit wants to fucking load. Yo, look at this shit. Did I not pay my phone bill? What the fuck? Alright, well, I guess we're not doing a ref check because the shit doesn't want to fucking load. Maybe Shopify is down. I don't currently know. But whatever, let's postpone this. We'll do it later in the video. I kind of want to get on the camera on today's episode or video, whatever you want to call it, and talk about kind of product research and finding creatives when it comes to looking to find products that you can scale up to 100K a month. Because a lot of us, and this is fresh in my mind because I did product research this morning, but when we're doing product research specifically, and this is going to tie into creatives in a bit, and we're looking for products to sell, obviously we all do the typical method that everybody does where we go on, let's say, Kalo Data, PP ads, or we go on the ad manager and we typically search up, if we're on the ad manager, we search up buy now and shit like that. Or if we're on Kalo Data, we're just looking for whatever has the most sales and shit. While those methods obviously do help you find products and whatever, it's a bit more beneficial to be a little bit different when it comes to what you're trying to look for. I know I made a video about this and I basically did what everyone else does, but there's a different way that you can go about product research, and it's about first identifying what problem you're actually looking to solve. So let's say you are starting a store, you don't know what to sell, you're looking for a product that you might want to sell. I don't know why I said it like that, but you're just looking for a product that you want to sell. You don't know what direction you're going into. First, identify the product. Holy shit, these niggas are walking slow as fuck. But first, identify the product. So let's say you're looking for a product that solves knee pain. If you're on the ad manager, you're on Kalo Data, you're on whatever software you're using, search up knee pain, back pain, whatever, the problem you're trying to solve, and attack it that way. Because you're going to find a lot more products that fit, one, exactly what you're looking for. B, it's also what am I saying? It's better to find products that are in a passionate audience that solve a very big problem, like something like knee pain, back pain, rather than like all those gimmicky products, because you're going to have a very simple time to find a way to promote a product that solves something like knee pain. If you go on knee pain, you strip knee pain on the ad library, for example, you're going to find a bunch of products that like are knee braces, maybe knee massagers, knee things. There's a lot of different variation of these problems, or not these problems, but these products. And alongside you finding those type of products, you're going to realize that even though there's a bunch of competition with those type of products, which there's a lot of different angles that you can tap into, different avatars that you can tap into. And even though some of these products may seem saturated, products aren't necessarily saturated at all. And that's something that some of you guys may not know. Some of you guys may know this, but it just matters what type of angle, what persona you're actually trying to target. For example, let's say you're selling a knee brace, right? You did your product research, you went on the ad library, Kalo Data, whatever platform you want to use for product research, and you find a knee brace that a competitor is selling, and you vetted that it's doing, let's say, I don't know, $200,000, $300,000 a month. Let's just say you vetted it and you did your validation or whatever, and that's the conclusion you came up to. You just know they're printing cash. And this specific competitor is only targeting people that are athletes, but you know for a fact, obviously, this solves knee pain. Like, this is what this brace is for. It's to help solve knee pain. But you're looking at this and you're like, damn, I can't compete. I won't be able to do well with this product. You can go in with that product, look at it, look at the persona they're using, look at the main desire. The main desire is obviously to relieve knee pain. Okay, who else may suffer from that? Old people like arthritis, and today I actually can't speak, arthritis and shit. And you begin to understand that there are a lot of audiences that suffer with the same problem. And in doing this, you kind of create a different lane for yourself while selling the same product. It's not about finding a winning product. Like if that's the route that you're going to, looking for a product that no one has sold before, you're gonna have a very tough time with this dropshipping shit. The game is just to not reinvent the wheel, find something that's already selling, and just find a way where you can find your edge with it. You don't want to get into something that you don't necessarily have an advantage. There's not like a gap in the market. You can't make better, if you can't make better creators than your competitors, you can't have a better offer, a better site, then a lot of the times it's not worth necessarily selling the product if you can't come in and have a better angle or target a different persona. But if you can find a gap with the things I just mentioned right there and find a way to sell a product that you know is proven and solve a problem that you know is always going to be there, an evergreen problem, it's going to give you a very, very good chance to find success when it comes to dropshipping. Okay, now you understand how to kind of pinpoint what type of products that you want to sell. Now you got to move on to the creatives. A lot of times when I see people, and this is again fresh off my mind because I was doing product research, looking at competitors for different products, I'd say maybe 90% of your not even, because it's called the 1% for a reason, 99% of your competitors when it comes to selling a product are just ripping ads straight from data, straight from the competitors, and not taking the time to actually understand who the fuck is actually buying the product. Now there is times where sometimes I guess you can fuck around and rip things from data and start scaling it up to like 1K days and stuff like that. But past that though, you have to understand who the fuck the consumer is, understand, okay, what's their pain points, what's the benefit of this product, and just understand overall exactly why somebody would need this product. What are you actually solving in depth? Just understand all that shit in depth so you can actually target the consumer properly. Because at the end of the day, you'll realize that sometimes when you rip these videos from data, you might have a very high CPC, you might have the worst metrics ever. But if you just took the time to make your own script, mash up the UGC, use some stock footage or whatever, and just put that all together and actually make a proven ad that talks directly to the consumer, you're going to realize that these ads, one, are going to convert probably a lot better for the most part, depending on how you edit it. And two, you are differentiating yourself in the auction when it comes to Facebook ads, because again, everybody's ripping these same ads. Why do you think you're going to have better success? Unless you have better a better offer than everybody else that's using the same creatives, for the most part, you're going to get subpar results, right? Because everybody's using the Shrine team these days. Everybody's using the same theme. So at the end of the day, everybody's using the same shit. What makes you different? And like, I guess the key to what this segment of the video is just be a little different. It's not about, you don't have to be like the genius in this game. You just have to find your little edge, the little point, the little part where you can like kind of find a way to, you know, yeah, just to be different. Honestly, that's what it is. Just to be different. Be different a little bit when it comes to finding your products. Find something that it doesn't always have to be beauty. It doesn't always have to be supplements. It can be something different, you know? Again, it's all about just finding something that has a passionate audience, people, or your product, passionate audience, and people that actually have a problem that you can solve. That's like the main points when you're finding a strong product that you want to sell. And two, just have strong creatives that talk exactly to the audience. And something else that I want to add while I pull into the gym is make sure that you also give your product enough chance. You don't want to obviously blow a lot of budget. You also want to have a stop loss and understand, okay, if I lose X amount of money, I get off the product no matter what. But if you only tested 3 creatives, bro, and you don't scale the product to 1K days, 2K days, whatever you want to do, did you really give the product enough chance to have the opportunity to do well? Let's be real with yourself. Like if you haven't tested enough creatives, like I don't want to give an exact amount where you guys go out and test 50 creatives just for the sake of it. But let's say you don't test upwards of like 20 to like 30 creatives. And that's not the exact amount. I'm just saying in general. If you don't test a bunch of creatives, different angles, different whatever, why do you think it makes sense for you to be able to scale up to 30K a day? You didn't test enough. You don't even know who the customer is. And if you do scale up 30K a day with shit creatives or things that you rip, for the most part, you might have got lucky, unless you just go to like that. But for the most part, you probably got lucky, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing for the most part. You just know how to scale ads. But the creative portion of shit, you might be cooked. So it's like you have to be different. You have to actually take the shit serious and understand who your consumer is, and just, again, the title, or not the title of the video, but the theme, I guess, in this segment is just be different. Now I'm pulling into the gym. Yeah, I'll talk to fucking hell, I'm so cooked. Why am I yapping? Just this nigga almost fucking crashed. What the fuck? He's tripping. But yeah, catch y'all in a little bit. Alright, just got done at the gym. Let's get a rep check going. Let's see if this shit will fucking work. So hit some fucking legs. Man, legs be annoying, but we gotta get it done, man. Don't want to be built like a Dorito. But nevertheless, rep check. First store is at $500 for the day. Low-key kind of ass. Like, it's been very slow lately. I'll talk about a bit more about that. But let's do the second store. Second store is down too. We only got $31 in this bitch. But, like, it makes sense. It's a Monday. Mondays are typically slow. Like, you can expect this type of performance on a Monday. Yeah, like, this is normal behavior. I did want to touch base with you guys about kind of what let me charge my phone, my goal is for this week, since today is Monday. My goal for this week, honestly, is just to get more more creatives up for the week. I was doing like one batch basically per week, but I'm looking at this shit and that's not pushing the needle enough for us with the 2 stores that we're doing. Like, we need to honestly be launching new creatives every single day. And I also abandoned doing it, doing launches in one separate CBO, just because I kind of want to give all these tests a fair shot to actually perform. And if they can't scale necessarily, then I'll leave it at a low budget and scale that way, because I was having a hard time, honestly, out competing a lot of these creatives that have a great post ID. Like, a lot of these creatives have or not a lot of these creatives, but the main creatives inside our scaling quote unquote CBO had so much engagement that even if it would get some spend in there, it wouldn't get enough spend to get enough data to understand if it's even a winner for real. And I know people will say, oh, then if it doesn't get spent, it's not a winner. But I don't know. I tested this for long enough for me, and I don't necessarily like this testing process that much, just due to that specific fact. When I was testing ABOs, it was easier to find winners, and it was easier to scale, because if something can't scale necessarily that high, then you can just leave it at whatever budget it's at and scale that way. So that's why I'm trying to pivot to just have one scaling CBO and then have a bunch of like mini testing CBOs and kind of operate that way. And whatever honestly doesn't get performance just gets cut. Anything that does well gets boosted up until it has enough engagement to go into the scaling campaign. And that's kind of how I want to operate moving forward. So in doing that, it made me realize, and again, this is about you guys kind of analyzing your performance in whatever time frame, 7-day window, in a weekly window, monthly, quarterly window. And I'm looking at this shit, and we need to test more creatives who we need to push the needle, because I say this a lot, but the main thing stopping you from hitting whatever revenue threshold you want to do is having enough creatives that are able to handle the volume of spend that you want to do. So if you want to do obviously 100K a month, you need to spend 50K a month. And to do 50K a month in ad spend, you need to have good creatives. And to do that, you need to test a good amount of creatives to be able to find what creatives hit the right pocket of audience to be able to do this for you. So that's where I'm at currently with the 2 brands. That's why I am kind of every single day looking to find at least 1 or 2 creatives to kind of, not creative, but creative batches to launch every single day, 1 or 2, as many as I can do. Ideally though, again, I'm not trying to spam test creatives, because then it becomes counterintuitive, but it is possible to launch one creative batch every single week. Like that is very, very possible to do. And that's kind of what we're looking to do right now. Just to see if we can get some more performance into the door, because it doesn't make sense to test only 3 batches a week. Right now we only tested 5 batches of creatives, and we're wondering why we're struggling to scale the second store. And for the first store, wondering why we're not able to scale to honestly maintain 2K days right now. Like we're struggling to maintain 2K days on the main store, just due to the fact that the creatives that have a lot of post IDs are starting to die down a bit, and we need to find some new creatives that are able to be substitute and be working alongside the winning creatives to be able to sustain the level of revenue that we want to do, whether it's 2K or 3K a day. So, and doing that, again, my goal for this week and honestly for the rest of this quarter, so the next 2 months or 3 months, is to just do more creative output and see what that yields me. And I'm almost confident that that should yield better performance on a quarterly, monthly, daily revenue level, and should be able to get us to the mark where we're doing 3K plus a day across the 2 stores, if not way more. So that's where my mind's at right now. And yeah, it's kind of important to just analyze again your performance, see what makes sense to do. Now I'm just kind of repeating the same shit, but yeah, that's where I'm at with the 2 stores, as you can see. Yeah. Also, too, y'all, I did want to also give you guys a little bit of motivation and just, anybody that's kind of testing, because I know if you're watching these videos, you're probably in a similar situation as me where you're testing a bunch of shit and you don't know, well, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? Whatever, blah, 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 blah. You guys just have to be able to just trust the process. I know it's tough, honestly, to watch yourself spend, let's say, $500 on a test and you break even or you lose money. And honestly, breaking even is not a bad thing, but we'll save that for another video. But you just don't find any success that you want to do. You have to understand that this game of dropshipping and testing these products, testing these creatives, and honestly, the whole duration of your life, anything that you want to be good at, anything that you want to, find a lot of success in, requires you to take the initial steps to just continuously throw reps. Let me rephrase that. It just takes you to consistently, put up as many reps as possible and just be able to consistently test, consistently try new things, consistently just working day in and day out to get better at finding new products, testing new products. And it's all about doing it multiple times over to the point where this just becomes muscle memory for you. And testing a product is easy. Making creatives is easy. And if something doesn't work, you understand, cool, I'm trusting the data. The data is telling me it's not working. So you're not going to ever be second guessing yourself because you put your best test up and with the data that, okay, I did what I could do and this shit doesn't work. Cool, let's move on. And you also have to detach away from the money. I know we work so hard for our money, especially for a lot of you guys that are still in a 9-to-5. You are, working very hard for this money. And I understand it. We've all been in this situation. I've been in this situation where you're spending so much money, or not spending so much money, a lot of your time to work, to make money, to throw on your tests, and you're like, fuck, I just wasted $500 on this test and I made no profit. And it's perfectly fine to be in this situation. Even people that have done this for a while, I've made a good amount of money in this e-com shit. And even me, sometimes when I'm testing products, it might take, a week. Not a week. A week is usually like, you have to be really lucky to find a week that makes you you have to be really lucky to find a product, for the most part, that's very, very profitable, a super home run within the first week of testing it. Sometimes it might take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even a month, 2 months to make a product work. But once you make it work, that's when you can finally start enjoying the fruits of the labor a little bit. Not necessarily blowing profits, but, starting to be profitable, being able to finally brand the product and start actually being able to, scale this shit, going from, doing your first $100 a day to 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, to eventually 10K a day and beyond. And just understand, again, this is a process. It's okay to, take losses, not win and stuff. All these losses are just helping you understanding the formula for yourself to understand what doesn't work, what works. And in doing this, you're going to become a person where you're going to be able to, again, just understand what works, what doesn't work, and be able to make this a repeatable process for yourself. Again, I've been doing this for a while, and everybody in this space goes through this shit. And if someone tells you they haven't, they're fucking lying. This is the reality of dropshipping. You're gonna have to test a bunch of products, creatives, until you find something that works. Some people might be able to do it a bit quicker than others because they have put the reps in. They know what they're doing. It's like anything in life, you know? And that's what you guys have to understand. And yeah, that's kind of the little motivation or whatever you want to call it I got for y'all for today. I'm currently heading home, about to get some work in, but like I just said, you gotta put some reps in. So I'm gonna put some reps in creatives and see what we can cook up and see if we can scale these businesses to doing over 100K a month by the end of the next, honestly, 2 months. Like, that's the goal. If we're not there by the end of 2 months, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be kind of heated, but nevertheless, just trust the process. If we don't get there, fuck it, we'll get there eventually. But nevertheless, now I'm yapping, about to head home. And yeah, appreciate you guys for watching the video. Love y'all boys. Hopefully you guys took action today. You guys are gonna take action today and just really change your life. And yeah, appreciate all y'all boys, girls, whoever watching this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.